Hey, Sean G here from Chasing the Truth. You're about to get some of the best of samples of shows I've done over the last 5 years. God bless y'all and enjoy.
Usually, when I see the job come up, as I said, the company doesn't have the right to refuse.
Right.
The individual people have the right to refuse the jobs. I do not go after stuff that basically look like human anymore.
Okay.
I had to when I was in the army, but we never went after giants. Closest thing we had was a troll.
Okay. All right. Troll. So describe what you refer to as a troll.
Slightly bigger than tall guy. I would almost say wrestling under the giant size. Usually a grey scent. Think of a guy who hasn't showered in his life and he's 75 now. Greenish grey tint to his skin.
Okay. So
And
how?
had a few tusks.
Tusks.
Had
Okay.
a few tusks and rotten teeth. Basically a troll.
All right. So where do you encounter something like that?
Germany.
No, really. So we're
Yeah.
talking like gargoyle kind of type of trolls, or what are we talking about?
Gargoyle type is almost correct. I believe you mean grotesque.
Yeah, grotesque.
Gargoyle is actually just a water spout.
All right. So what type of environment are they in? Are they out in the open? Are they in the mountains and caves, or what are we talking
That one we answered was in the dark forest or the black forest or whatever. I think it's the black forest.
about? Okay.
And that was private sector, and that's where I learned don't go after the human-looking ones. Because they basically have scent tells as a human,
Mm-hmm.
but it can also be a sneaky and crafty. Never get into a fist fight with one of those things either.
So they're immensely strong, right?
Yeah. And I can use them basically, I wouldn't say strong, but they know how to use their weight.
All right.
Like you've heard in boxing before. You don't punch with your arm muscles or your shoulder. You use your entire weight of your body in every punch. They perfected that, but I weight slightly more average strength and practice.
So what? Why would you be hunting a troll in Germany?
I think the bounty was after equipment, after the cost of the equipment was, I think, 7 million rand. That's about, back then, that was equivalent to $3 million
Okay.
per person in the party. We were 5 people in that party.
Oh, okay. So what? So why was there a bounty on this particular troll? What was it doing that needed to be dispatched with?
I'm not sure if you're up to, were up to events in 2001, but there was a string of disappearances and then mutilated corpses, basically just bloody pulp, in the area where that one was. And one survivor, but I can guarantee that was in the news, that described basically, I believe the term was Lord of the Rings orc or something like that.
Okay, I got you.
But yeah,
Something along like that. Okay, since we're going down that kind of path, have you ever seen anything that was described like an elf, like a kind of shorter or a taller version of a human with the pointy ears or Vulcan-like? You come across that, or is that too fantasized description?
I have friends that know a few elves, but Americanized, redneck.
All right.
But personally, the closest thing I've ever seen was actually 4 years ago when I was hunting rabbits just outside of the complex where I was living. Gnomes.
Gnomes.
Yeah. Bastard stole the rabbit I shot. He was hunting for 4 days, 4 hours.
So before you started to hunt these things, these cryptids or whatever you want to refer to them, did you see them prior to that, or after you were exposed to these cryptids, did you start seeing? Were you able to see them more frequently?
It's a case of, trick of the mind. You tell yourself, I didn't see that. Or your brain says, that cannot be there. That is how I saw the cryptids before that first encounter I told you about with the Minotaur thing.
Yeah.
After that, I started doubting and actually basically started seeing all this crap.
So once you got past the mind block that it's not there, you started seeing those things.
Okay. It's not very fantasy.
Okay.
Once I got past that.
Do you know what a fox looks like? An American fox? Like a red
fox or jackal?
Red fox. Just a red. I'm describing a red fox like an actual fox. Do you know what a red fox looks like in the United States?
Yeah, I know a red fox.
Okay, all right. Now this is what I'm going to describe to you as the about 6.5, 7 feet tall. Looks like a red fox, but is able to stand on its hind legs and walk around, and equally be able to run like a fox. Have you heard that description before?
That sounds like a type of Dogman as well.
Mm-hmm.
Was it in the Appalachians?
Mm-hmm.
In the Appalachians?
Yep, it was.
Mountain Range.
Yep, in the Appalachians. In the southern parts of the Appalachians.
I believe the locals there used to talk about the Foxman.
Mm-hmm.
But we call it the Appalachian Foxman. Dogman.
Okay, so describe to me, if you will, what kind of equipment would you be wearing, say, if you were in the United States hunting these things? What time of day would you be hunting these things?
Never in the day.
Never in the day, okay.
The night was basically hunters.
All right.
The civilian hunters, not monster hunters, but civilian hunters would go, why is that guy who's hunting wearing camouflage plate carriers, and why a full SWAT kit like that, basically?
Okay.
But the equipment we'll use, usually with a Dogman, if it's a small team, it's only one. Like I said, with the family groups, you never know exactly how many there are, so we go in 20. We're going after one. There's repeated sightings where the descriptions basically tell us it's one beast. We'll go in a team of 5. One tracker / sniper. Two with a shotgun, usually a Spaz 12 or Fuck, I can't even remember that one. Also a military one, semi-automatic, and two of other M16 or equivalent AR. Now, the physical kit you'll be wearing, not just the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
It's a level 2 plate carrier, level 2 ballistics mask, and I don't know how to say it, breeds. Shin guards, scarf guards, basically also level 2 body armor. And you've seen I almost want to say the SWAT type bullet carriers, plate carriers.
Okay, so
your armor, even on the arms.
Right.
Also be wearing those.
All right, so would you be using like night vision goggles or any of that kind of equipment?
Usually night vision goggles, but the tracker never uses that equipment. Because if you're looking for spoor in an unknown area, the goggles only give you this much range. You look 180 around you. Now, you look up, down, left, and right at the same time. You're looking for something that is a bit out of place. This twig was broken 4 feet above the ground, so it's not your average animal. Stuff like that. Either a human, then you check how fresh the break is and stuff like that. And how clean. But as you described the Foxman, that thing is basically, it's a peaceful creature. You don't get called in for too many peaceful ones.
So it's pretty peaceful creature. Okay, all right. So the Foxman's a peaceful creature. All right. Usually. Now, let's go back to my original description with the about a 15-foot tall, short snout, greasy fur, dark brown, almost blackish fur. This was the sighting I'm describing was in Canada.
Okay.
And
honestly, the Canadian ones I'm a bit fuzzy on, but that sounds dead on, spot on, like a North African one, hyena type.
Okay. I've got a drawing of one, a sketch of one. I'll send to you in Skype and let you see that. Let's see. Can these things transform from one? Transform their appearance in any way, shape, form, or fashion?
Not that I know of. Closest thing to the transformation I've ever seen, something like that, was basically going on all fours.
Okay. Or are they smart enough to adopt camouflage, like being able to put on some sort of ghillie suit or anything like that to transform what they look like to casually be able to appear as something else?
Like weaving twigs and branches and stuff into the fur.
Yeah, or
basically, that's also a difficult one. As I said, there are many classes. It's the idiots, the hunters, the alphas, stuff like that. Usually the hunters and the alphas would do that if they know they are being hunted. But the young ones, the idiots, technical term, they don't usually do that because they don't have experience with it.
All right. So how do these dog men creatures, whatever how do they get? What's the range that you've seen?
Basically, it's age. Age comes experience.
Okay, so there's no lifespan of a particular creature. Dogman, is there a lifespan? How many years do they do they live in a typical situation without you having to come and hunt them down?
I have no information on that.
Okay.
As I said, basically what I know is they call us in, we go kill it.
And that's it. Okay. All right. So, have you hunted in the United States?
A few times. Not all of them were for Dogman as well. We had 3 times in the US, 3 or 4 times for Dogman only, but
What have you hunted
this
in?
is a good question.
What have you hunted in the United States?
In Texas, we got a few chupacabra. The Dogman hunts, they get a bit fuzzy, but 3 states Dogman. Yukon Valley, we hunted the Sasquatch 4 times. We stay away from that area as well, unless the pay is good enough. And then in Tennessee, Mississippi, vampire hunt once in New Orleans, and Alaska false alarm, it turned out to be an actual wolf.
An actual wolf. Okay. So
Yeah.
you mentioned that these dogmen, depending on the species, were there more docile ones? You mentioned that the fox-like creatures were more docile. Which were the more docile, and which were the more aggressive?
Honestly, it's like dogs. Every species have their docile ones. Every species have their aggressive ones.
Okay, so where would you normally see?
Ones we usually get docile is Appalachian, the fox, and funny enough, Australian. You don't hear a lot of stories about dogmen in Australia, do you?
No. One second, let me think. I can't recall a dogman in an Australia story at all. Whether it's great aggressive or docile or anything. I can't remember.
They're usually not aggressive and they stay away from people.
Okay. So where would you see more? So where would you see the more aggressive ones?
Africa, America, Russia.
All right.
Places where it's either too cold, too hot, too wet.
All right. Well, that's an interesting thing. I would love to talk to you again about these creatures. It was amazing that you picked up on where the hell I was talking about just by the description of the dogman. So that's interesting. Shit.
I was doing this for a long time.
Yeah, I'd say so. Okay, let's see. Let me think. Okay, I've got a couple of stories. Well, I got 2 stories. And they are from 2 different people on 2 different 2 different sides of one country. Okay, but both of them are from adults, and they are from their distant memories as youth. Both of them describe a stinky ape. And both of them said that they received they received help from these quote unquote stinky apes. One was deposited as a child, like 5 years old, Hey, folks, thanks for listening to this best stuff sample of some of my 5 years in doing this radio show podcast called Chasing the Truth. Please visit iamdarkwaters.com, or you can email me at seang@iamdarkwaters.com. And my numbers and links are in the description below. God bless y'all, and I'll catch you on the flip side.